When I first reviewed Wicked, I had said the costume and set design needs to get an award because they went above and beyond.
I think the set and costume design was excellent. They should get an Oscar for it. 10 out of 10.
And they did get 2 Oscars for Best Production, Design, and Best Costume Design. Welcome to episode 4 of my Wicked discussion, in which we'll compare and contrast the uniforms worn at Shiz to those worn at Nevermore Academy, Hogwarts, and the boarding school I attended prior to coming to the US. What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I can't tell you how excited I am for this series. I've always wanted to discuss different facets of my boarding school experience on here, but I wanted to do it in a way that is interesting. And what better way to discuss it than by comparing it to other movie boarding schools like Shiz, Hogwarts, and Nevermore Academy, magical schools I wish existed in real life. Now, I'm well aware that Shiz isn't a boarding school. It's a university, but let's just roll with it. Also, this combines my Cameroon-related content with pop culture, 2 content pillars I have come to find out consistently do exceptionally well on my channel. I had always hoped to combine them into one neat package, but it seemed like an odd combo. It doesn't seem so odd right now. It's like the girlies who discuss murder mysteries or true crime while doing their makeup. 2 completely opposing topics, but somehow it works and people eat that up, myself included. Now today we'll tackle uniforms and or school attire and outerwear. Let's begin with Shiz University. Paul Tazewell is a genius. He's the costume designer for Wicked and won that Oscar last Sunday. I find Shiz's school attire fascinating. Shiz is obviously a prestigious school in Oz, and the student attire reflects that. There's a certain elegance to it, but what I find even more interesting is the fact that there is uniformity without sacrificing the student's individuality, self-expression, or personality. They have a set color palette for the uniforms, and the shirts have to be long sleeves. However, the students are free to mix it up as long as they stay within the color palette. Let's take Glenda for instance. I wondered after watching the movie why she gets to wear what she wants while her fellow students have to wear the solid teal or striped blazer, light blue long sleeves, the orange and blue tie, socks, vest or cardigan, and striped navy blue or dark gray shorts, skirt or scousers, which is a trousers and skirt in one, like the one Bowen Yang's character is wearing. I get that Glenda is one of the main characters and has to stand out, and also she's from Wealth.
I am Galinda Upland, of the Upper Uplands.
But I didn't think she should be exempt from the school dress code. And she isn't. Upon closer look of the outfit Glenda wears right when she gets to Shiz in the opening scene, she's doing the striped look like her friend, Shinshin, except she's doing it in light blue and pink versus navy blue and white. Same for Alphaba. She's adhering to the dress code, except her shoulder pads are more pointed, which will make sense as the movie progresses. The tip of the hat Glenda gives Alphaba as a joke is also pointed, and so are Alphaba's dance moves at the ball. They have some sharpness and pointedness to them. I noticed that Glenda's blazer has some pointedness to them at the shoulder as well, but it's subtle, unlike Alphaba's. It's almost as though she's mirroring Alphaba, which eventually happens at the Ozdust Ball. Also, Alphaba gravitates towards the darker gray stripes and is never seen in the teal blazer throughout the movie. It's true to her because she's always in black outside of her uniform because she's still mourning her mother who died when she was very young.
Mother passes very early in her life. Elphaba is kind of stuck emotionally. And I think that her gravitation to black as well, there's a starkness about it. And then when she goes into Shiz uniform, she is in a darker charcoal gray, but it's still a world of charcoal gray. It does have some of the teal that is part of the Shiz pinstripe world, but it stays on the darker spectrum.
And then there's Bach, who is from Munchkin land. Munchkins are known to be farmers, and so it makes sense that Bach chooses to wear the vest with orange, which is more of an earth tone. It's brilliant. It reminds me of this private primary school in Cameroon called CIS, Cameroon International School. By the way, we call it primary school, but here it's called elementary school. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, CIS's uniform color palette was ash gray and like a deep purple. They could wear pants, shorts, or skirts for the bottoms. For the top, they could wear long sleeves or short sleeves. The vest was optional. And then I had to wear this. It was equally a private primary school, but no room for versatility like the students at CIS. But I'm getting ahead of myself and slightly off topic, as we'll be discussing my secondary boarding school uniforms later in the video, not primary school. Back to Shiz's uniforms. They look very much like the costumes of the dancers that performed at this year's Oscars for Ease on Down the Road, performed by Queen Latifah. This was a tribute to Quincy Jones, but also a nod to The Wiz, the black version of The Wizard of Oz with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, which is a full circle moment for Paul. He did the costume design for The Wiz, the musical, not the movie, and now he's designed for Wicked, the movie.
I've designed The Wiz probably 6 times. That was actually the first major musical that I designed when I was in high school. So the story of The Wizard of Oz has been in my life for a considerable amount of time.
Big congratulations to Paul on his Oscar. Moving on to uniforms at Nevermore Academy. They are whimsical and I love it. It looks like a shade of indigo, like a royal indigo and black vertical striped blazer, with a yellow and indigo Nevermore crest on the left pocket, and matching accordion pleated knee-length skirt for the girls. Although from some angles and lighting, the skirt looks just solid indigo, no stripes. Underneath the blazer, the students wear a white collared shirt, a black or indigo tie, and a gray or light indigo vest. The boys wear solid black trousers or pants. Everyone wears black and or white shoes, although those who wear white shoes are very few and far between based on my observation of the students at the quad in the first episode. And for the Gorgons like Ajax, they wear an indigo beanie to protect themselves, but mainly others from being turned into stones by the snakes on your heads. The vampires like Yoko wear sunglasses because your eyes are light sensitive, and the sirens wear amulets to protect themselves, but mainly others from their spell, which is like hypnosis. Anyway, back to the uniforms. The students are wearing a lot of layers, which is fine if it's cold, and it seems to be for the entire season 1. It looks like it's fall based on the numerous shots of colorful foliage. For Wednesday, she's wearing the uniform in black and ash gray stripes. Her skirt is longer than her counterparts. Apparently, she's allergic to color, hence the black and white or black and gray. I'm not quite sure if this is literal or just sarcasm, but I'm glad they don't take away her individuality by making her wear color. It's a school for outcasts, for goodness sake. And last but certainly not least, before I discuss the uniforms we wore at my boarding school, Hogwarts uniforms. There's a lot of interesting things about Hogwarts, but the student uniforms isn't one of them. The Hogwarts uniforms were very disappointing for a magical school. They are quite plain, much like many muggle private schools. Based on the movies, because I didn't want to have to reread the books for this video, when the first years arrive at Hogwarts, they are wearing white long-sleeve collared shirts, a black tie with Hogwarts crest on it, a gray vest, and for the boys, your pants look gray in the lighting. The pants matched your vests, it looks like. And for the girls, the skirts are also gray like the vest, knee-length and knife-pleated with below-the-knee gray socks and black rounded toe shoes. Like Mary Jane's, the students are all wearing the black robes over their uniforms. It's not until they get sorted into their houses that your ties, cardigans, and robes will have the corresponding house colors and crest. Also, they have scarves, which are in their house colors. By the third year or third movie, the boys have swapped their gray pants for black ones, and the ladies have swapped their gray pleated skirts and gray socks for black knee-length skirts and black stockings. While I have your attention, I would like to introduce you to my merch website. A subscriber had asked me once if I had merch, and I had said that I didn't because there hasn't been a need or demand for it. Well, because she asked, there obviously is a demand. For those of you who love my Cameroon videos, specifically my Cameroonian slang videos, you will love these t-shirts and hoodies with Cameroonian phrases on them. I've got tees with my channel name on it if you would like to support the channel or just like my channel name. I have tees and sweatshirts inspired by Galenda's dresses, which is very on brand for this video, and there's more to come. You get 20% off with a $50 purchase and free shipping with a $100 purchase. I have discount codes for those. Once you browse for about 20 seconds, there will be a spin wheel pop up which will tell you what you have won. There's 20% off or free shipping. But to claim the discount code, you have to sign up with your email for updates. Once you sign up, the code will appear. Pretty neat if I do say so myself. As for the designs, I made them through Canva. Once an order is placed, a third party handles the printing, shipping, and fulfillment. All I have to do on my end is maintain the website, keep making designs, and answer emails. This is called drop shipping. Happy browsing and shopping, and back to our regular scheduled program. Uniforms we wore at my boarding school. The official uniform which we wore to class, to church, to town during outings, or for any formal event on campus like the PTA or house feast. Be sure to check out the previous episode if you haven't done so already to find out about house feast. Was a red knee-length skirt with a combination of an inverted and a kick pleat right down the middle of the front of the skirt. The blouse was sleeveless, pale yellow with a square neckline, and for footwear, we wore brown open-toed flat sandals made specifically for our school and perhaps one other school in town. In other words, we bought the sandals from one specific store in town. No other store sold them. If I remember correctly, this was the same store that also sold our school cardigans, which were handmade, open-stitched, brown button-down cardigans with 2 pockets on the side and red trim. I wish I had kept mine because they don't make cardigans like that anymore. And if they do, they're like $500. This is the closest thing I found on the internet to those cardigans, combined with this one. The town our school was located in was in a valley, so it got cold in the evenings and early in the morning, which is why I don't understand why our blouses were sleeveless and why our footwear was open-toed sandals. We were not allowed to wear long sleeves of any kind under our blouses if cold. That's what the cardigans were there for. A red headscarf was part of the uniform too, but we only wore that scarf to church because we had to cover our non-existent hair. Yes, having a buzz haircut like 11 in season 1 of Stranger Things was also part of the uniform. There was only one student in the entire school who was exempt from cutting her hair like the rest of us. Reason? Religious. For that reason, she could attend classes, but she could not live on campus like the rest of us. In other words, she was a day student. Her dad would always come pick her up when classes were done for the day around 1:30-ish, and he would always be wearing a turban and had a full beard. So I'm going to assume they were Sikh. The only thing we did in the way of personalizing those uniforms that wouldn't and didn't get us dismissed from the school was adding multiple creases to the skirt, which we did by folding the skirt from the inverted pleat in the middle and then ironing it. It made the skirt look like it had knife pleats. Some students ironed their blouses in the same way as well. Others used black shoe polish on their brown sandals instead of brown shoe polish because black went better with red and pale yellow than brown did. That's about as far as we could go to make our uniforms look less drabby. Our loungewear, which we wore to dinner and evening prep, which was evening study hall, which was pretty much every day from 7 to 9 p.m., was a white dress with a square neckline again and sleeveless again, cinched at the waist with a flare skirt. These we had to bring ourselves prior to our arrival on campus, whereas the uniforms were distributed on campus. These weren't sold anywhere, so they had to be custom sewn. There were many tailors in our neighborhood, so my mom bought the white fabric and got one of the tailors to sew 3 of these dresses for me. Of course, students could bring more than 3, but 3 was the minimum requirement, so that if one was stained and the other lost, I would have at least 1 more. These were worn with regular flip-flops. With these dresses, we could wear any sweater over them. 3 sweaters or cardigans, different from the official school cardigans, were also on the list of requirements for the school. Last but not least were our athletic wear for phys ed and manual labor. That's what we are wearing in this picture. I'm in the middle and the other 2 ladies are my dorm captains, so they are not my classmates. They are upperclassmen. What we are wearing are called costume dresses. It's obviously a short flare dress, sleeveless again, but with a round neckline, this time with shorts underneath, and my shorts were obviously oversized with elastic at the seams. I'm not quite sure why the word costume was attached to dress to describe this outfit. These were distributed on campus as well, and they came in our house colors. As mentioned in the previous video, I was in Immaculata House, and our house color was blue. Don't ask me why my dorm captains are wearing a different color than mine. They are supposed to be wearing blue, but upperclassmen did whatever they wanted. They thought they were above the school rules because they were in charge. I'll get into more details about the upperclassmen when I do the episode discussing a day in the life at that school. I didn't like a lot of the upperclassmen. In fact, a lot of the underclassmen did not like a lot of the upperclassmen. The underclassmen thought the upperclassmen were full of themselves, and some of the upperclassmen were indeed full of themselves, and some of them had no reason to be. In conclusion, it's obvious that all these schools, while in different lands, all have one thing in common. They are all private, prestigious schools, and private, prestigious schools seem to have a thing with vests, cardigans, ties, and pleats. We can add sleeveless to the list as well for my boarding school. And there you have it, all done for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week or sooner for episode 5. We'll compare Shiz University campus to that of Nevermore and Hogwarts, and I'll describe the campus of my boarding school. That way, when I get into discussing a day in the life, everything will come together and hopefully make sense. Thanks again for watching, and you can leave requests in the comment section for videos you would like to see once I'm done discussing Wicked and my boarding school. I will have more Cameroon videos coming as well. Although this technically counts as a Cameroon video, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Drop this emoji if you made it this far. Share the video as well if you feel so inclined to do so, and watch these videos next. Bye! This person with this noisy fucking car every 5 minutes. Shiz is obviously a obviously. It's almost as though she's mirroring